Welcome everybody to Soma Yoga video 6, where we continue with our standing poses. And in this video we're going to be looking at Utthita Hasta Pādāṅguṣṭhāsana 1 and 2, that's extended hand to big toe pose. And then we'll take a look at Natarājāsana, dancer pose. So let's start with Utthita Hasta Pādāṅguṣṭhāsana number 1. So Gabby, if you'd like to stand on your right leg. So when Gabby stands and puts her weight on her right leg, she has to engage here the tensor fasciae lata muscle and the front fibers of the gluteus medius muscle, because if she doesn't, then she'll just collapse over and the hip will hike up. She'll look like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and she's going to lose her balance. So it's very important that we engage those muscles when we transfer the weight onto the standing leg. The standing leg is going to stay straight, so a quadricep muscle here is going to be engaged. If you happen to be hypermobile and you have sway back knees, then it's worth having a little bend in the knee. But otherwise, look to straighten your leg completely by squeezing the quadriceps. Then Gabby's going to raise her left leg, and she can take the big toe and raise the leg up. Now, you can either choose to take the big toe, or for some people, they take the outside of the foot. So that's another alternative. It's your choice, really. As long as if you take the big toe, make sure you don't sickle the foot inwards and that you keep the foot turning, so the sole of the foot is turning away from you. So here we've got the hip flexor working on the front leg. So here with the hip flexor pulling the leg up, and it's a closed kinetic chain, so the hand is also helping to hold the leg up. We're really focusing on the standing leg being straight, and then if we look at the torso, again, nice and erect. So we're using the muscles in the back, the quadratus lumborum muscles, the erector spinae muscles, in order to stop the spine from curving forward. Now, for some people, they're going to find this very hard to keep both legs straight. So in which case, they can bend the front knee a little bit. And by bending the front knee, it's taking a little bit of the stretch out of the hamstring, making it a little bit easier. Again, that may still be too much for you. So if that's too much for you, you could just hold your shin and stand holding the shin, keeping the standing leg nice and straight and the torso erect. So this is Utthita Hasta Pādāṅguṣṭhāsana number 1. We're going to look now at Utthita Hasta Pādāṅguṣṭhāsana number 2. And the only difference here, the formation of the standing leg is basically exactly the same. So Gabby's going to stand on her right leg, or left leg. She's going to stand on her. Gabby's going to stand on her left leg, and she extends the right leg out to the side. So now we're actually squeezing the muscles of the gluteus medius and the TFL muscle. These abductor muscles are contracting in order to bring the leg out, and we're getting a stretch on the inside. The adductor muscles are being stretched in this position. If you want to take it further, you can use the shoulder muscles, the mid-deltoid and the supraspinatus, to extend this left arm out to the side. And maybe even looking towards your left hand. Beautiful. It's a very challenging pose, this. So if this is too much for you, you can just bend the knee, makes it a little easier, takes the hamstrings out of it. And again, if that's too much for you, you can bend the leg completely and just hold the shin. And you can keep this hand on the hip if you want. You don't have to make it a little bit easier. And that is the Utthita Hasta Pādāṅguṣṭhāsana number 2. So the third pose in this video is Natarājāsana, dancer pose. So dancer pose originated actually from ancient Indian dance and then was incorporated into yoga in the 20th century, possibly by Krishnamacharya. But we see examples of ancient Indian dance doing this pose on temples dating back as far as the 13th century. And this pose is in Indian mythology, it's talking about Shiva, the god Shiva, who's the god of dissolution, the god of destruction, and this is the dance that ends the universe with the idea that it's a cyclical, so it's a cycle, and that then Brahma, the creator, will create a new universe, and it just keeps happening in a cycle. So that's the Indian mythology element of Natarājāsana. Now, we will be demonstrating later on the full pose, which is very, very challenging, but for the purposes of explaining the anatomy, we're going to do the actual modified version of Natarājāsana dancer pose. Yeah. So Gabby's going to stand on her left leg and just bend. So she bends the right leg. So it's using her hamstring muscle to bend the leg, yeah, and keeping the standing leg strong and straight, and leaning forward slightly so her hip flexors combined with some of her adductor muscles, most of her adductor muscles, excluding one, the adductor magnus, are helping her to fold forward slightly. She can then grab the inside of the foot with her arm and then extending the other arm. So here we have shoulder flexion, so the anterior deltoid of the front arm is lifting the front arm up. And when she first bent the knee in the back leg, she was working using the hamstrings. Now she's got the foot being held by the hand. She's actually working to push the foot into the hand, which is engaging the quadricep femoris muscles, and the hamstring muscle is more relaxed. Yeah. In the extension of the back leg, so in the extension of the back leg, we're using both the gluteus maximus, which is that big butt muscle, but if she just used the gluteus maximus, it would tend to encourage the knee to come out because it's an external rotator. So in order to keep that knee coming straight back behind her in a nice line, she's also using the one adductor muscle that's also an extensor, the adductor magnus, and that helps to pull the leg back behind in a nice straight line. Keeping the chest up, and you'll see Gabby's eyes are looking straight ahead, keeping on a fixed point to help with the balance. All right, you can come back down for a moment, Gabby. So that is the more basic form of Natarājāsana dancer pose. Now, this is definitely not a modification, but just to show you the full pose, Gabby's going to now demonstrate the full pose, and I'm just going to explain how there's a couple of variations, a couple of differences now in the upper body in terms of the anatomy. So whenever you're ready, Gabby. So Gabby takes, again, a slightly different position with her hand, so she's holding the inside of the foot from underneath. And then she's going to start to bend the elbow, rotating inwards. That's it. So bringing the front arm forward. So you'll notice that the upper arm is externally rotating. The elbow is adducting towards the midline as she holds the foot. So, and we have to have even more flexion from the upper arm. And then the other hand can come and, if possibly, grab hold of the foot. And the forearms actually rotate in the opposite direction. In order to get a really good grip on the foot, the forearms are actually pronating turning inwards in opposite direction to the upper arms. And that is the full expression of Natarājāsana dancer pose, which is a very hard pose to do, and most people are going to be very happy to just do the original pose that we showed earlier on in the video. So thank you for watching again, and we'll see you in the next video of Soma Yoga. Thank you.